Hello, this is Dana Arcuri, author, speaker, survivor, advocate, and certified trauma recovery coach from danaarcuri.com. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new content. And if you are coming back, hey, welcome back. It's great to have you here. So today's topic is something that's been on my mind for quite some time. I'm going to keep it really real, transparent, and authentic today. I am going to be chatting about there is a high price to pay for exposing narcissistic abuse. And this may not be an easy topic. This is a sensitive topic. I am stepping out in a very vulnerable, transparent way. I'm keeping it real today. And a lot of you who have been watching me for many years, hey, I've been here for 11 years now on YouTube. So some of you have been around for the long haul. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And others are quite new to my channel. Some of you have been around for the past 4 years when I have been talking a lot about my personal experiences and sharing educational content about narcissistic abuse, sibling abuse, family estrangement, and various topics regarding very dysfunctional relationships. And the one thing that a lot of people don't know, meaning if you're not personally friends with me, if you and I are not chatting behind the scenes, and if you're not part of my daily life, then there's a lot of things you may not even be aware of, which is why I'm sharing this video today. I think it's actually important for people who are watching YouTube videos to realize that for many YouTubers, meaning people who do show up, dress up, and they have information and education and a lot of content that could be very valuable and helpful to other people, especially abuse survivors. What most other people, meaning the viewers, don't know is that, there are a lot of YouTubers who put their life on the line. They do show up in a very authentic way. They do support others, especially abuse survivors. And that is something I'm very passionate about. And yet, the one thing a lot of my subscribers and those who watch my YouTube channels, and even people watching me on other social medias, they don't always know, what's going on behind the scenes in my private personal life. And yes, it is private, it is personal. Obviously, there are many things I might keep confidential, but I believe that it might be helpful for my viewers to get a glimpse into my own life and to know that there is a high price that I have paid by being a YouTuber, by being an author, by being a certified trauma recovery coach, and by having blogs and content, writing books. Hey, I've written 3 memoirs. I've written 6 books in total. And so, yes, there is so many sacrifices that I have made. Some people might think, oh, but you're earning money, There is a high price to pay when you write about, talk about, blog about, speak about, post about narcissistic abuse, sibling abuse, gaslighting, manipulation, smear campaigns, sexual assaults, etc., etc. And so a little glimpse into my own life could be quite intriguing for some of you. I guarantee most of you don't know the times when I'm struggling, the times when I'm down and out. There are so many moments when it could be easier to just say, I'm done. I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to write another book. I'm not going to blog. I'm not going to put myself out there. I'm not going to be on YouTube or social media. It would be easier to just lay down your life and say, I'm done. And yet, I know that's not what I'm called to do. I know that I have a higher purpose. I have a mission in life, and it is to give people healing, health, and hope. It is to see you, hear you, validate you, and to come alongside of trauma survivors and abuse survivors and hold space for each one of you. And I do have so many passions, and I'm well aware that I do have some beautiful gifts and talents, and I have a calling upon my life. And sometimes it's these great callings and that do actually put us in a position where we are realizing it's not always an easy road to be in the public eye. You know, I might not be Nicholas Sparks. I might not be one of these, top best-selling Amazon authors who are earning millions and millions of dollars. And hey, that's okay. It's really not about the money. So let's keep it real over here. There are times when I realize that by putting myself out there in the public eye as an author, as a speaker, as a YouTuber, as a certified trauma recovery coach and an advocate, there is a backlash. There are plenty of times I receive the most cruel, highly threatening, vindictive, hateful, spiteful comments. There's a high price to pay when you expose various forms of abuse, because what happens is a lot of abusers, my own family, my own blood relatives, have sought to harm me. There are the smear campaigns, the retaliation. There are the relatives who have smeared my name all over the internet. There are strangers who have gone to great lengths to bully me into silence, who have been vindictive, who have been extremely highly judgmental, hateful, sinister motives, and they have basically slandered my name all over the place on the internet. There's defamatory remarks, lies that are not true. And your price to pay when you are standing up for those who are being oppressed, silenced, and abused. It is not an easy road. And so I deal on a daily basis with this. I deal on a daily basis with the people who were cruel, cunning, manipulative, who will stalk me on my website. They'll write me hate mail, hate messages, threatening messages. People who say, I know where you live. Oh, they do know where I live. And we can understand it's very easy to find someone today. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is sacred. People can easily go online and find your phone number and find your email and find various private information about you. And yet there is a high price we pay when we expose abuse and criminal behaviors and evil, sinister actions that are going on behind closed doors. And so I'm keeping it real today that I see the greater picture. I see that I'm not the only person who has been online, who shows up on YouTube, who creates videos, who blogs about narcissistic abuse and flying monkeys and sibling abuse, toxic family dynamics, etc., etc. There are so many people who are doing that. And I thank you for everyone who has the courage and the strength to be transparent, to be authentic, to put yourself out there. Any YouTubers who are watching me, wow, I applaud you. And I am so proud of you for having content on your own channel, to be there for others, to advocate for others. And we have to know that so many people, including the YouTubers, including the scapegoats, including the black sheep of the family, they are sacrificing so much. They are putting their lives on the line. But it is a higher purpose. There is a higher calling upon our lives, and nothing will stop us. Not the hate speech, not the threats, not the people who are writing slanderous comments and defamatory lies about us. We understand the whole picture. We get it. We see it. We live it. We rise above it. And this is what it's all about. And so we can understand that this is called a martyr. And I know that the whole word to do with martyr, it's a Greek word. It means witness. And it's about someone who suffers the persecutions and death for advocating for a higher cause. And while the word martyr might relate to religion, we have to look at the bigger picture. This narcissistic community, even in the family estrangement community, anything regarding trauma and abuse, we are being persecuted, shamed, and dumped with toxic blame because we are showing up and we are talking about advocating, educating, and building awareness about despicable forms of abuse that are going on within our world. And this goes well, well beyond politics and religion, which I really don't want to get into as far as politics go. That's just unproductive to go round and round with division. And why drain ourselves? You know, if that's your passion, hey, go for it. It's not my passion. I know my calling. I know what I'm good at. And I know what my life purpose is. That's why I'm here today on YouTube. That's why I write books. And that's why I'm a certified trauma recovery coach, because it is my passion and I am so thankful for it. When I think of a murderer, I think of Martin Luther King Jr., and we can understand that there's some really sad situations with other people also who have paid the high price for defending others, for speaking up, for advocating, and for supporting various communities, minorities, and trying to seek justice in our world. I'm going to share a quote by Martin Luther King. He says, 300 years of humiliation, abuse, and deprivation cannot be expected to find voice in a whisper. And then I love this one quote by Martin Luther King Jr. He says, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And so I really can appreciate that. We can understand that there's many people who lay down their lives for a higher cause. And I'm sure that you could start sharing, and do so. Share in the comments below who are people who you might admire who have laid down their lives, whether they were or were not a murderer. They were someone who did pay a high price for advocating for others. So feel free to share people you admire, people who might be famous, or even just ordinary people like you and me today. Feel free to share those who do pay a high price for advocating and supporting, especially scapegoats and the black sheep of the family, and anyone who is a trauma survivor. Next, there is a high price to pay for my being on YouTube and my writing books and my being a certified trauma recovery coach and my having this calling, this anointing upon my life. I don't take it lightly. I take it seriously. And there are people who will lash out at me. They will write malicious comments. They will threaten me and stalk me and harass me and bully me and try to break me down. And yet, I will still rise up. I will still speak up. I will still show up, because the greatest calling upon my life is this moment right here and now. That's all we have, is here and now. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. And someday, I may not be here anymore, but my message is going to be here. My message is going to be here. My books are going to still be here. And I'm still going to be helping people even after I take my last breath. And that is something that I do take extremely seriously. It is an honor and yet so humbling to know that God has called me for such a time as this to advocate, to have content about various forms of abuse, to share pieces of my story and effort to give others encouragement, inspiration, motivation, and hope, to know that they too can break free of these toxic dynamics of oppression, of injustice, of spiteful, envious, hateful people who seek to kill you, destroy you, and steal your testimony from you. And yet, at the end of the day, I can lay my head down on my pillow knowing that I did what was best for me. And that despite the sacrifices, despite the things that may come my way that are not easy, that don't feel comfortable, such as the people who do write defamatory remarks, the people who do set out to harm me and hurt me, regardless of those people, I will not lay down. I will not be quiet. I will not stop writing and speaking and sharing and advocating and supporting and staying true to my sole purpose in life. And neither shall you. And so we can understand that there are people who are our enemies. And so many leaders in our world have enemies. And we can understand that. And we could know that. And I'm aware that there are people who may despise me because I defend, protect, and advocate for children, for all minorities, for the scapegoat of the family, the black sheep of the family, for those who were abused by their siblings, for those who were abused by the narcissist, for those who were sexually assaulted and violated. I stand up for you, and I have such a big heart for you. And even if I wanted to just call it quits, there's something in me that just kind of bubbles up inside of me and says, you're going to keep showing up, girl. You're going to stay strong. You are unstoppable. You are fearless. And that is who I am today. You may have tried to break me. You may have tried to destroy me, but I will still rise above oppression. And there is a wonderful scripture, Psalm 23:5 in NIV. It says, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. And so this scripture really sums it up. It sums it up that despite the haters, despite the critics, despite the naysayers, despite those who are envious, mean-spirited, spiteful, hateful, vindictive, hostile, and violent, I am not going to just walk away and just let go of my dreams and my purpose. And I am here to encourage you. Don't let the haters, the critics, and the naysayers, you know who I'm talking about. This is the narc. This is the flying monkeys. These are the sinister, evil people who seek to harm you. Don't let them destroy your life. Don't let them steal your joy. Don't let them silence you. Don't let them make you feel hopeless. We will rise above these abusive, dark dynamics, because we will shine the light on the darkness, which leads me to a quote. Back to the quote. Let's see. Martin Luther King, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And we are going to shine the light. We are going to give compassion, empathy, encouragement, and wisdom to those who seek us. Never mind the naysayers. Never mind the naysayers. That's not our focus. Our focus is to be there to support and advocate for those who are seeking our help. And what a gift that is to them. And I want to read something, and it's actually from one of my books. It says, the spiritual warfare that aims to sabotage you doesn't scare God. The evil schemes won't faze the Lord. He's not afraid of anything. He is undaunted by evil and troubles. Actually, he intentionally intercedes for you when you're under the attack. The arrows are flying every direction. They're coming here, there, over here, and the arrows are flying. But God still sits on the throne. And by God, he is protecting you and me. Next is another quote. As darkness lurks behind the table, your heavenly maker stretches out his hands to protect you. He will sustain you. He lavishly fills your cup overflowing with goodness. He satisfies your soul. And so I'm going to end on this note. I don't know what you're going through today. I don't know if you're the black sheep of the family, if you are the scapegoat, if you were abused by your siblings, your parents, or a narcissist. if you were sexually assaulted, if you were violated, if you were involved in a domestic violent relationship or some other horrifying and traumatizing situation. But yet I know beyond a doubt that there is hope for us to keep on keeping on when the going gets tough. Despite the naysayers and the haters and the stalkers and the manipulators and the people who despise us for showing up and being truth seekers, we can be the light in the darkness, and our world so needs this. So today, share with me, have you felt like you paid a high price for exposing narcissistic abuse or anything else? There may have been other forms of abuse that you exposed. There may have been books that you wrote. Maybe you blog. Maybe you share on social media. And maybe people have attacked you, condemned you, and judged you for it. Share with me the opposition, the oppression, the gaslighting and manipulation that you have experienced. Let's keep the comments going down below. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you're interested in working with me as a certified trauma recovery coach, please feel free to reach out to me at danaarcuri.com. Thank you and have a beautiful day.